guys, what's up? Amy Pigeon here. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel, and welcome back if you've been here before. So today I have a very exciting tutorial for you. It is featuring the new MAC Art Library palettes. I have the, what's this one called? The Flamboyant palette and the It's Designer palette that I both mixed on my eyes here to create this really cool kind of edgy, colorful look. I know I had a great time making it for you, so if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, it would mean the world to me. Let me know what future tutorials you want to see in the comment box below, and if you want to see how I created this makeup look, please keep on watching.
Alrighty you guys, so starting with the Flamboyant MAC Art Library palette, I'm going to go in with this shade here called Rule. It's a nice matte orange, and I'm going in with my MAC 217 brush, and I'm going to buff that into the crease in windshield wiper motions. This is going to serve as kind of a little bit of my transition shade. I'm going to mix other colors into it later to make my own custom color, but we're just going to keep building the color until we get it to the saturation that we would like. Again, windshield wiper motions, and then lightly feathering it upwards towards the brow to taper it out for a nice soft blend. Now I'm going to go into this deeper shade called Dollywood. It's a super warm brown, doing the same kind of motions but applying it just a little bit lower than we applied Rule, so that we're then blending it up into Rule, getting that gradient of a darker shade lower down into a lighter and brighter shade further up towards the brow bone. Now I'm going in with this beautiful chocolate brown, this dark chocolate brown shade called Embark, and applying that with the same brush on the outer V area of my crease and carrying it into the outer third of my lid, just using that same brush. We're going to build the color to get it as dark as we like. And then I'm going back in with Dollywood again, just to deepen up the edge and make it a little bit more warm there, because I found like I blended too much of it out. Now I'm going in with my MAC Art Library palette in It's Designer and the color Chrome Yellow. Using the same brush I used before, I'm kind of layering it on top of that Rule shade and bringing it up even further to my brows. So it's going to kind of overlay those warm brown orangey colors and make it look like a bit of a pea green, kind of like a little bit of an army green color. Well, maybe not army green, more pea green I would say. But then sometimes it looks super yellow. It's an interesting mix of colors here. You're like, is it yellow? Is it pea green? I'm not sure. Anyways, now I'm going in with my 239 shader brush and the shade Can't Afford This. And I'm going to be just packing that onto the inner 2/3 of the lid, building up the color as necessary, so going back in if you want more color, and then tapering out the edges into that Embark brown on the outer corners and into the Rule orange shade in the crease, so it's nice and soft at the edges there. Now I'm tipping back into the Flamboyant palette, and the actual color I'm using here is called Flamboyant, and it's a beautiful metallic red. I'm going to pack that on to the lash line and then kind of pat it on top in between that beautiful I Can't Afford This neon color and the Embark, just to soften that edge. And now here I'm just doing a bit of correcting. I'm going back in with my crease brush, and I'm kind of bringing back in a little bit more of Dollywood there, because I found that when I brought the yellow, I lost a lot of that color, so I just wanted to add some more depth and complexity to the colors by bringing more of that guy back in there. Now I'm going in to do a Wicked Wing liner with none other than my MAC Brush Black brush stroke liner. So I'm just going to line the entire lash line, doing a kind of thin regular liner look, but then I go in and do my wings starting at the outer corner of my eye, kind of feather it up towards my brow bone to do the shape, and then I connect it to the middle of my lash line, and then we fill it in. Now I'm going in with my MAC in Extreme Dimension mascara. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I am going to put on falsies as per usual, but I love waterproof because my eyes get so watery all the time, so don't want my makeup getting ruined from that. Now I'm going in with my MAC Face and Body Foundation in the color C1. We're just going to work that into the entire face, and I'm going to cream contour using my YSL 24-hour full coverage foundation sticks. I like using two colors because I don't have the right color. I have one that's too dark and one that's not quite dark enough. So I find that when I mix the two, it helps blend out better to the really dark color. So I'm going under my jawline to make it a little bit more defined and slim it out. along my cheekbones to carve out my face and make my cheekbones pop more. The side of my nose to make it more snatched and defined. My Cupid's bow to add some depth there and make my lips look more pouty, as well as under my chin to make my lips look more pouty as well. And the top of my forehead, because I find I have a very large forehead. And then we're just going to go ahead blending all of those colors out from where you want the most definition. So under your cheekbones, you want the most definition under your cheekbones, so you're going to blend it up. On your forehead, you want the most definition or shading at the top of your forehead, so you're going to blend that down, etc., etc. Now we're going to highlight, so I'm using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the color Fair. I'm going to put a good amount of that under my eyes and then blend it out in that triangle shape to blend into the contour. The center of my forehead to bring some light there, right down the center of my nose to make it look really skinny, and then under my contour as well to just clean up that area if it's a bit muddy, and on my chin. And then same thing, we're blending out from where we want the most highlight. So the center of your forehead you want to be super highlighted, not high up. Down the center of your nose, you want to keep it right down the center of your nose. You don't want to blend it out too much. You want your under eye area to be super, super bright and it to taper out from there, so you kind of blend the edges around the cheek more. And under your under your contour, you want the most highlighted place to be pretty well directly under that. So you're going to be blending away down, away from the contour on that part of your face. Then I like to go in with this little fluffy brush that you see me using right now on my Cupid's bow. And I like to soften the edge of where the highlight meets the contour under my cheekbone there, so my cheekbone doesn't look like too much of a straight razor sharp line. So after I go in with the big artist brush, blending that out, I then kind of go in circular motions along that sharp edge just to soften it out a little bit, as you see me doing right here. So now I'm going to go in with my MAC Next to Nothing powder in the color Light Plus. I'm going to pack a lot of that under my eyes so this concealer doesn't crease, and then I like to work it in and kind of brush the excess away after I've packed it in. And then I do a light layer of this on my entire face to set all of the foundation and cream contouring. I like to start in the areas where I've highlighted and then kind of blend it out from there. Now I'm going in this MAC kohl pencil called Costa Riche, and I'm going to line my waterline. Now I'm going in with my Inglot 77 gel liner, and I'm going to smudge some of that out on my lower lash line just to create a nice sticky dark base for my shadows to stick to underneath there. It really helps create some depth rather than just going in with shadows alone. And if you find you go a bit too ham at any part, you can just go in with your finger to tap out the edge, because it can be hard to do that with a brush sometimes, to soften it so that you don't have those harsh lines. And you want to do it before this liner sets, because once it sets, it's there. Back to the Flamboyant palette, we're going in with this shade called Samoa Silk, and we're going to buff out the edges of that black liner that we just laid down there to soften it even more and further add to this gradient effect I'm always talking about. And I'm going to go in with the deeper brown shade that we used before in our crease called Bollywood, and I'm going to add that in between that Samoa Silk shade and right up against the lash line, so we're further contributing to depth in that lower lash line with the gradient effect. And then I'm going to go in with Embark and a smaller, more precise brush. It's not super precise, but compared to the 217 I have here. And we're going to press that in right against the lash line for the completing step of the depth portion there. Now I'm going in with I Can't Afford This, putting that in the inner corner of the lower lash line. Now it's time to bronze the face. So I'm going in with my MAC Matte Bronzer. We're going to apply that to the meaty part of the apples of your cheeks, just above your contour, along the side of your face, the top of your forehead, your nose, your chin, and then blend it down your neck so you don't look like a floating tanned head. You kind of want it to blend into the body a little bit. Now I'm going in with my Sculpt Pro shaping powder from MAC, and I'm going to add more depth to the cream contour we did by adding powder on top, starting at the top of my ears, working it down towards the corner of my mouth, and swooshing up around the apples of my cheeks to emphasize the apples of my cheeks. Now I'm going to contour my nose using the slightest amount of this powder, just to make it look more snatched and skinnier, and then blending whatever's left up on the brush into my brows to attach it to the bridge of my nose. Then we're going to add it on top at the tip of the nose, or just above where you want the tip of your nose to appear, and underneath the tip of your nose. So this is shortening your nose. You're also making it look skinnier, and same thing on your nostrils to make your nose look less wide. And I'm going to put it in my Cupid's bow in the deeper ridge parts there, and under my chin to make my pout look even more prominent. And then I like to swoop it around the apples of my cheeks in a more defined line with the smaller brush here. Now I'm going in with this color here. This is called Show Gold. It is, Beaming Blush, sorry. This is their In Extreme Dimension highlighter. I'm using a fan brush and just gonna douse the highest points of my cheekbones with it, and with whatever's left on the brush, bring it above my brow to lift the eyes a bit. And I go in with a smaller, more detailed brush to go right down the center of my nose. This is my favorite part of makeup. I think it looks so cute when you have that shiny little highlight going right down the center of your nose. Then I put a bit on the higher points of my Cupid's bow to again emphasize the pout. So the shadow parts make, the shadow and highlights together make your pout look more prominent, faux show. Now I'm going in with blush. I'm using Fleur Power by MAC. Seems to be the only blush I ever use. I'm going to apply that to the apples of my cheeks and blend it up between the contour and highlight to blend the two seamlessly together, pulling it back along my face. And then I'm going in with a dual fiber brush and a little bit of that next to nothing powder to just soften the edge of my contour there so it's not so harsh. And then we finish with the setting spray. I'm using this Dewy Mist from VDL. And then putting on, of course, my lashes, which I forgot to put on earlier. And then this lip color in the shade 106 from Makeup Forever, which I've been really digging these days. Then I'm going to go in and finish up the look finally with my lower lash mascara. This is the MAC Extended Play Giga Black, my favorite ever for getting into small spaces and separating and defining the lower lashes.
Well, that's it for today, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this MAC the MAC Art Library eyeshadow and full face makeup look. I had a great time making it for you guys. You know the drill, I say this in every video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, it helps me out a lot. And let me know in the comment box below what you'd like to see in the future from me. Until next time, take care, you guys. Bye.